So I think I should be live now. Does anybody know if I'm live? Let's have a look. Right, I think I am. Okay, so I think I'm going to be mostly talking to myself today, but that's okay. So one thing I want to check is if that QR code in the corner, if it works, and it doesn't, it's too small. Okay, so that's a lesson learned. Okay, so that's irrelevant. Let's see if I can move that, because that doesn't work. Okay, so let's forget about that QR code. That's something I need to work on. All right. Well, if anyone's watching this back, thank you. So what I've been trying to do here is to find the bottom of this current slight dump we're having with Bitcoin. So I've got Bitcoin USD here. I'm using the, actually I meant to be using the ByBit chart for this, same as that one. Let's change that. So I'm going to use that one just to make things equal rather. Okay. Now the reason this is all right, Mr. Delta, how you doing? If you've got nothing better to do today, I know I should be outside enjoying the sunshine and stuff, but to be honest, my daughter's gone off to the beach and with her friends, so I've got the house to myself. So I thought I'd try and get on with my new setup and try and get it working. So I'm talking to you, but I'm also going to talk to anybody who watches later on. But my plan is to do regular live streams where I'm talking about what I think the market's doing, you know, what's to be expected, and I'm going to be talking about these two indicators that I really love. The one at the top here, let me just show you a simpler chart. Let's look at the BTC USD on the, I don't know, 5-minute time frame. That's a good one. Okay, now let's just turn this off for a minute just to, well, just collapse that just to make things clear. And I know, Mr. Delta, I know you know what this is all about. But if you go to my website, which is savewith.crypto.org, there's a thing on the home page that says, here's my favorite indicator. And it's about these EMAs. This wasn't my idea. I got this idea from Eric Krohn, even the colors and everything. If you watch his videos, you'll actually see that he uses the same EMAs on many of his charts. So what these are is a 5, 9, 21 and 55 EMAs in that order: red, cyan, yellow, green. So here, for example, on the 5-minute time frame, they've been in that order since 10 o'clock this morning. So the price has been coming down, and it still is coming down. However, it's sort of starting to show a little sign of it bouncing a little bit here, because the red is coming back towards the cyan. Now, it doesn't always mean it's going to bounce, because it didn't fully here. It did a little bit and then came back down, you know. Ideally, on the 5-minute, what you want to see, actually on most time frames, what you want to see is the yellow and green cross over the other way, so the yellow's on top of the green. Does my audio sound all right, Mr. Delta? I'm actually using a Shure SM58 plugged in through a Focusrite digital interface and into the USB-C socket on my newish MacBook Air. And that's another thing I'm doing today, is I'm using different software to what I've ever used before, which is OBS, whereas I've only used StreamYard before to do the live stream. I think everyone uses OBS. I mean, I didn't before because there's always a problem with it in the way that if you get like pop-ups and notifications coming up on the screen, everyone's going to see them. So I wanted a computer that's I'm just going to use for live streams and maybe trading. Obviously, things I want to show on the live streams. I'm not going to use it for like emails and normal stuff. That's the plan. So what I did was I bought a 2022 M2 MacBook Air. It's only the 256 gig storage, and it's only got 8 gig of RAM, but so it's pretty much a base model. But I managed to get it for 415 quid. And it was a bit of a dodgy deal, actually, I think. I mean, I think the guy was legit. It just, everything about it seemed a bit weird. Because, what happened was, he wanted to meet me in a Sainsbury's car park. And because he didn't want to give out his home address. I can understand that, to be honest. I mean, if you've got expensive-ish bits of computer stuff lying around or whatever, then that's fair enough. Also, turns out he is actually a gaming live streamer as well. So, I don't know who he is or what he is, but he might have been a bit wary about being too much of a public profile anyway, and me being able to sort of know exactly where he lives. But anyway, so he was a bit cautious about that. And then when he handed the computer over, I said, "Look, can I just check it is the one you've been talking about on Facebook Marketplace?" So I fired it up, and it came up to the login page. And I said, "What's the password?" And he said, "I don't know." And the story he had was the fact that he'd taken it to a second-hand computer shop to sell it, and they'd wiped it clean. Now I don't know why they would do that as a routine. Well, I suppose they would as a routine thing. But anyway, they offered him 100 quid less than he wanted to pay for it. So he decided not to sell it with them. But they he couldn't get hold of the password. So I wasn't sure if you could actually reformat the SSD from scratch with a MacBook if you didn't know like the original details, the original Apple ID and all that kind of thing, and the Apple ID password. So I wasn't sure really, and so there's not a lot we could do in a Sainsbury's car park. We were using the hotspot on his phone for Wi-Fi, and it was just quite ridiculous really. So I actually gave up and I went home, and he does live about 19 miles. No, it's not that far. It's about 12 miles away. And I went home, and then he messaged me later on saying that he got it back up and running. And he showed me the actual screen where, if you're familiar with MacBooks and things, it starts off with that bonjour, hello, that page, where you select the country and language and all that. Let me just check this audio's all right. He showed me the actual screen where, yeah, I think it's all right. Just wonder if it's loud enough, actually. I think it is. Yeah, let's assume it is. No one said anything. Anyway, so I went back to get it, but I did charge him a £5 for my petrol to get there. So I ended up paying 415 quid for it, and it's really nice actually. So, because I was going to buy one of them M4 ones, the new ones, but I actually thought, do I really need to spend like 1,200 quid on a computer? Because I know I'd have spec'd it up. I'd have got like the bigger hard drive and more memory and stuff, and I'd have spent 1,500 quid by the time I'd even started. But the point is now, what it means is I can use this one for the streaming, and I can do streaming every day, can't I? Anyway, let's get back to what I was talking about. So yeah, so ideally I want to see these green and yellow EMAs cross over pretty much like they did here. That was this morning at 4:50 in the morning. You know, that kind of thing. But ideally what we want to do is try and catch one of these bottoms like that. So that's where this other indicator comes in, which is the quad rotation stochastic. Okay, and this is also a free indicator. You might recognize the publisher when you go and look at it. It's just called quad rotation stochastic. So go up to your indicators and look for quad rotation stochastic and you'll find it. Okay, it's currently actually got 98 likes on it. 98 98 sorry, I keep doing that. 98 boosts, I think they call them. But if you look at the home page for that, you can go to here. Okay, so this is it, quad rotation stochastic, right? And this does various things, and so it has. So it's got a multi-layered momentum analysis. So basically, you're looking at 4 different stochastic charts at the same time. And what a stochastic momentum is, that is kind of like it identifies when an asset is overbought or oversold. So that is either when the buyers are getting weak or the sellers are getting weak. And I'll show you that in a moment. Advanced divergence detection. It automatically identifies bullish and bearish divergences for each stochastic, helping traders spot potential reversals early. Okay, that's very important. Background color alerts. When a configurable number, e.g. 3 or 4, can't remember what it's set at by default, but we'll have a look in a moment. When that many stochastics agree in one direction and position, i.e. being overbought or oversold, the background colours green for bullish and red for bearish to give instant visual cues. Okay. In addition, ABCD pattern recognition. The script recognises shield patterns when stochastic 4 remains stuck at extreme levels. That's above 90 and below 10 for a set time, warning of potential trend continuation setups. Okay, now they are shown on the actual chart as like red crosses and green crosses. Okay, super signal alerts. If all 4 stochastics align in extreme conditions and slope in the same direction, the indicator plots a special super signal offering high confidence entry opportunities. Sounds good, doesn't it? Okay, so I think this is a brilliant indicator. I can actually show you the bits here. So what we're looking at here is these green crosses up here. That is the ABCD pattern recognition. So there's that. Then the coloured lines are obviously the actual stochastics themselves. These straight lines here, like the green and the red ones, they are the bullish and bearish automatically identified conditions. There's a green background you can just about see there, and a red background you can just about see over there. Okay, those were the ones I mentioned earlier. And then these are the really cool bits, is these little things like the green arrow there. And I think there was also it's not shown here, but there was also a red arrow over here, which is, these are the ones where you got quite a lot of confidence about them working out. So that's really cool. Anyway, so it's a free indicator. If you do come here, do click this thing. It'd be lovely to get that to 100, wouldn't it? Oh, actually, and while you're there, or while you're here rather, can you give the live streamer I like as well. That'd be amazing. Right, I've just got to go and do something over on my other screen. That's it. Okay. I was going to say hi, Mr. Delta. So I'm just doing this because as I say, I'm getting used to the OBS streaming software. Okay, cool. Right, so where was I? So let's come out of here. Now this indicator, this is actually open source software, and I did create it from open source software, and then the original open source disappeared, so I kind of republished it. So I didn't actually write it myself. I wrote some bits of it myself, and a few other people helped me out with it. In particular, a guy called CryptoJ, who did some amazing work on it. Yeah, again, it's not an indicator I'm claiming that I did, but it's there for you to use if you want, okay? All I'd ask is that you stick with me, subscribe to my channel, and hopefully we can all make some money. Anyway, so what am I looking at here? So I'm like I said here, it would have been good to identify the bottom. Okay. Now what I've found really useful with this indicator is looking at it on slightly higher time frames, things like the 12-minute time frame. And you can see here that in the 12-minute we did actually get that green arrow down there for the super up indicator. We did actually get one earlier here. That one was a little bit of a false one, but it wasn't bad, was it? I mean, if you'd have gone long then, all right, it came back a little bit more, but then it went up a lot more. So I would love to see one of them again soon, which at the moment we haven't actually got on the 12-minute time frame. Although, zooming out a little bit, that does look a little bit double bottomy, doesn't it? Although, let me get the pen. So, you know, it's easy to look at that and think, oh, is that a double bottom? It might not be, because that might be a double bottom, implying that the price might come down here a lot more. So there is that. Okay. So at the moment, maybe not at the bottom just yet. Okay. But you can see some other things as well. Like you see these green arrows that appeared there. Oh, those were the two I was just talking about, wasn't it? Okay. I'll shut up. Okay, so let's go back to this view here. This is where I like to see what's happening in the very, very small time frame. Oh, debut mastering. Hi. I've not seen your name before. Brilliant. Not sure who you are, but hello. Do give the video a like and make sure you're subscribed to the channel, because I'd love to see you here again. Debut mastering. So is that mastering as in audio or video or anyway, let me know. So what we got here is, this is on the 1 minute time frame where you see things happen a lot quicker, and you can see down here what we got. It's a bit tricky because every time I go over there, these little things appear. I don't think there's a way of stopping them appearing. If I do that, no. Anyway, maybe if I expand this a little bit just while I'm talking about it. Okay, that might work. So what happened here was the stochastics all came down there. We got the super up signal. Okay, now the super up is a very strong signal, but if you get the red crosses as well, what that means, oh, hang on a minute. Oh, you're an audio guy. Brilliant. Excellent. I was just saying, for this, I'm using a SM58 going through a Focusrite interface and into my MacBook, and it seems okay to me. I just wondered if it sounds all right your end, but I hope so. what was I say? Yeah, so the red cross means there's still potential for the price to go down. So just hang on a minute. So basically that was saying, don't go long then. Hang on a minute. Okay, so that actually worked out really well, because when the red crosses stopped appearing, the price went up. Okay. All right. So let's look at this on the 3 minute. 3 minute worked out pretty good as well, you see. So the 3 minute, you had red cross, red cross, red cross, red cross, and then we hadn't we had the green arrow there. Okay, so you might have chosen to go long there, but I don't know, maybe. But when you see this kind of thing, when you see like red cross after red cross after red cross, that doesn't last forever. So you see back here, red cross, it went up a little bit, then it came back down, and then you had these red crosses, and it's almost like it's holding it back, and then it sort of lets go, and boing, up it goes. So that's what happened there. Now I'm not seeing that. Sorry, I'm not seeing that here at the moment. So there is that. Okay. So I'm not sure if it's going to go up right away. Although I must admit, it does look like it is, doesn't it? So let's go and look at that 12 minute. Not getting much from the 12 minute. If you look at the 1 hour as well, that's sometimes worth looking at. You see, the 1 hour, when it bottoms out like here and here, you get things like these green lines. Let me click that. Hang on. I'm on the wrong tool, aren't I? Whoops. Not sure what I did there. Right, let's try that again. Right, first of all, where am I? Right, I'm looking down here. Okay. No, I'm not. I'm looking. So good. Oh, I'm not on the 1 hour. Right, let's go back to the 1 hour. Right, okay, good. Right, so the 1 hour, right. Looking for what happened here, and could we have got into a trade down here, or even back there, actually. That would have been, actually that one would have been a good one. But let's look at this one because it's more recent. So if I double click that, I should go bigger. So what you got here, you got this green straight line. Now the green straight line is where it's detected bullish divergence. Okay, so that happened at 5 o'clock on Wednesday. So hang on. Right, so that was only a bottom there. Okay, so that wasn't brilliant. Actually, it wasn't bad actually, because it went up there, came back down, and off it went again. I'll tell you what you can do, is the way I've got this by default. The stochastic lines, what they are, the colours, right? The colours are the same in a way as the colours I've got here for these EMAs. So the fastest moving one is the red one. The next fastest is the cyan, and then the slower ones are the yellow one, and the green is the slowest, right? So in a way, the green one, even though it's slower, so what you see from that is slightly delayed, if you like. The actual signals from that are kind of more powerful. Now what you can do on this indicator is you can go to settings, and where is it now? You can go match divergence lines to stochastic color. Right, now if you click that, right, you can see which stochastic made that straight line. Okay, I might have to find a way to make this a bit easier. Maybe if I make the stochastic lines dotted or something, and then leave the divergence lines solid. That might be the way to go. But anyway, so when this divergence here was detected, this was detected in the red stochastics. That's the fastest moving one. So in a way, that's not the most reliable one. Okay, you want to really see that in a green one, like you did back here. So 5th of May, 3 o'clock. What happened then? Fifth of May, 3 o'clock. I mean, how good would that have been, eh? To get from there to where we are now. That's pretty awesome, isn't it? Okay. Debut Mastering said, nice, sounds good. Oh, brilliant. Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's always good to have an audio guy here. Cool. Now, I was just saying to Mr. Doughter that I really want to get into regular live streaming, and I don't really want to use StreamYard because you have to pay for it, but that's what I've been using so far. Mainly because I wasn't paying for it, but I want to use OBS because I think it's a bit more versatile with what you can do. You can do things like put, the banner at the top of here. By the way, if you go to Blofin, if you go to my link, savewith.crypto.org/Blofin, that redirects to my Blofin affiliate link. And at the moment, from now up until I think it's May the 28th or the 26th, I can't remember now. One of those dates. If you deposit anything up to anything from $100 to $2,000, you get 20% free trading bonus. So if you deposit $2,000, you get 400 bucks for free. So that's cool. Oh, you're an OBS person. Okay, cool, brilliant. Okay, great. Do you stream yourself? Obviously you do, don't you? Anyway, so where was I? So that's what I'm looking for on the on this indicator here, the quad rotation stochastic. Actually, by the way, if things like say the the actual stochastic lines are bothering you, I mean you can always turn this stuff off, So like say you didn't want to see, there you go. So you didn't want to see like the quicker ones, you just wanted to see the yellow and green ones, you could do that, So you're just seeing those ones. And if you didn't want to see any of them, no, sorry, that's the if you didn't want to see the divergences for some reason, you could turn that off, but I wouldn't suggest that. In fact, I'm feeling vulnerable now they're turned off. But yeah, now I suppose what you could do is you could make that into. Could you make that into something different? I'd probably have to do that in the code. Yeah, I guess you would. By the way, if you want to mess around with the code in it, you can make your own version by going here, and you can play with the actual code itself and make your own personal version if you want. That's the whole point of the open source stuff, So yeah, so you can do that. Anyway, let's go back to the 1 minute and the 3 minute. Okay, now here's a good example, right? So here it's only on the 3 minute, but we're starting to get that yellow and green EMA. That's the 21 and the 55. Starting to get those to cross over. Now, if they do cross over, the price will probably pump up a little bit. If they do what they did here, this is really annoying because basically they get really, really close and they don't actually even touch. They just get really close to each other and then they go, oh no, come back down again. So maybe this time we'll see that. And then if you see that on the 3 minute, I then go and look for it on like the 5 minute and, you know, the 7 minute and all that kind of thing. And I just sort of, you know, look beyond that really. Which are the most useful lines you're saying? The most useful lines. Generally, the ones that use longer time periods. So with these two indicators here, it's the green and yellow, and the green and yellow here really. so if, for example, right, if at the moment, let's go here. Let's put this on the. Didn't mean to do that. Let's just put this on the 12 minute. Okay, because the 12 minute shows some fairly powerful moves. You can also see as well here. We see we got that almost across there, but didn't happen. Oh, I get what you're saying about the lines. Yeah, so you're thinking about the bearish divergence lines. Is that what you mean? Maybe not. Anyway, so generally green and yellow. So at the moment, what you can see is the green and yellow. They're almost down the bottom here. What you really want to see is them both below this line here. I think this one here is the 20% line, and that one there's a 10% line. And with stochastics, they're quite important, or very important actually, because if you can get, you know, if these two get below 10%, that means the asset is very oversold, and usually like the sellers are really exhausted and the price is about to reverse. And if you look back here, you can see that did that here. See like the yellow and green went down there. You got the green arrow. Look how brilliant that was. Amazing. Excuse me, I'm burping away. So yeah, so we didn't quite get that, but not bad, you know. They were down here, weren't they? Also, they seem to do something when they cross as well, in the same way that these EMAs do when they cross as well. So, for example, the yellow crossed above the green here, and then bang, up we went. So I would say for the moment, this is a very local bottom. We'll probably go up a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be as dramatic as ones we've had previously. So there is that. Let's go back to that one for the moment. Right, okay, so to show you this quad rotation thing again. So here right now, because it's on the 1 minute time frame, all these have like gone right up here, right up to the top, and this is the opposite end. So this is the 80% and the 90% with these lines here. So they're both up in the 90%, which means on the 1 minute time frame, that's in a very overbought situation. Okay, and we did have that red arrow there, but that's just disappeared. So, you know, so that movement there on the 1 minute time frame, that's probably over now. So that will probably, you know, it'll probably come back here and then maybe come back a bit and maybe come back a bit and then go for it. Okay, maybe. Right, that alert is because I've got all sorts of alerts set to do with the quad rotation stochastic indicator. So that was saying there's a green cross on the 1 minute. Okay, right. So that red arrow came back. Now the green cross, right? What the green cross means, I'll keep saying this because I think the more times I say it, the more it'll sink into my own head as well. So the green cross means that you've got, well, it basically means, as far as the stochastics are concerned, it looks like the price wants to go up further, right? Although it is in quite an overbought situation. So it means it's going to go up, but it's not going to go up forever. Okay. So, that is, you kind of would expect a reversal soon, and it will happen. It will happen when? It will happen just before these green crosses stop appearing. And it's unfortunate it's just before, because obviously, you know, it doesn't read into the future that much, but it's not bad actually. It's pretty good. I'm gonna have to get a drink of something. Hang on. Tell you what, see if I can put some. See if I can put some music on while I go and get a glass. So if I turn. Is that doing it?
Oh.
Oops. No, it didn't, did it? All right, something not working there. Hang on a sec. That's probably because I've got nothing loaded. Oh, I don't know. Hang on a sec. Right, that's not loaded. Oh. I think that should be playing there, should it?
Oh.
Right, I'm just going to get a glass and so I can put some drink in it. Okay.
Oh.
Right. Right, let's turn that music down. I think what I need is some headphones, don't I, so I can monitor what everyone's hearing. Because the only way I've got to doing that is to turn the volume up on the computer I'm monitoring it with. Yeah, Mr. Debut Mastering. If you know any good resources like videos and stuff about beginner's guide to OBS kind of thing, then do let me know. I watched a few things on YouTube. It's one of those things where a lot of these people obviously use it every day.
Oh.
And they kind of quickly rattle through settings and stuff, and I'm thinking oh, hang on a sec, So I only really started using it seriously this morning, So it took me about an hour to sort of get it so it was actually displaying the whole screen and not just like a little bit of it. Anyway, all right. So what we got here? So we've got lots of alerts. Now I know Mr. Delta was asking me about this yesterday. So basically here, right, you've got these green crosses appearing, right? So like I'm saying, this means that the price wants to go up, but it is still running out of steam because it's right at the top of the stochastic. So then in that situation, what I'd be doing, I'd be looking at a higher time frame. So for example, the 3 minute here, where it's not quite there yet, you see, and then I'd look again. I'd look again at the 12 minute time frame, And you think, well, that's not there either. But, you know, don't ignore the fact that you can look at things like the 5 minute and look again for these crossing of the yellow and green on the EMAs as well. So there's lots of things that, you know, you can look for them kind of clues. Now, what I like here is what I was talking about before. So on this 21 and 55 EMA, you've actually got a cross there now. Okay, which didn't happen back then. So I would be surprised if we didn't go higher than, say, that peak there. So I think that should happen. And I suppose you could do some kind of scalping if you like with these sort of movements. At the moment, I've got a I've got a big trade on ByBit open, but that's open from much lower. That's a long, and I've got a little one on Blofin that I was just messing about this morning, and I accidentally. Well, not accidentally, but I went in a bit too large. I am actually a little bit underwater, actually. Tell you what, I'll just have a quick look on my other screen, just to see how embarrassing it is to see if I dare. See if I dare show you. Oh, actually, sod it. There's only 2 of you here, isn't there? Are you still here, Mr. Delta? Are you not?
Oh.
I suspect I'm probably a few $100 underwater, actually. Yeah, I think I am. Yeah, 133 USDT and underwater, 3.34%. Not overly worried about that, but I do intend to get out of this and then maybe think about entering again. So yeah, I can do that. But yeah, do use the Blofin link if you haven't got Blofin already. You can use it in any country, I believe, apart from China, North Korea and Iran. Oh dear. Yeah, having a drink.
Oh.
Right, that's all this alert's about. Okay. So that's to do with these green crosses on the 1 minute. So it's trying, isn't it? It's trying to get higher. And what you sometimes see with this is what I've noticed. When you start getting these green crosses, they'll stop appearing at some point, and then you'll get a bit of a pullback. But if it's still quite bullish, it will then go for it again. And that next time you won't get these green crosses until it's actually gone quite a bit higher. But we can wait. God. But we can wait and see what happens.
Oh.
Tell you what I want to do. I want to get the chat up on. No, not the chat. The performance data on OBS, but because I've got it on a separate screen, I haven't got the menu. You know, like with the dock and all that sort of, so I don't quite know how to do that. I'll have to keep reselecting the stream. Oh, okay.
Oh.
So I've got 7 concurrent viewers, 21 views. Chat rate is 0. That's not good. Debut says 8 watching. Okay, good. Hello, 8 people. Right, okay, so the price is going up a little bit. But you're starting to get this red background here. So the 1 minute's not very happy. The three minute one's starting to get the red background there. Okay. And then let's have a look at the other one. Let's put that on 12 minute. I generally use with this indicator, like, to try and identify these very small like bottoms and tops. I tend to use the 1, 3 and 12 minute time frames.
Oh.
Okay, so that was actually quite good when you... I'd have been more confident here if this green stochastic had come below that 20% line, like it did here. Wasn't bad though. So does that mean I can get out of my trade alive? Getting there, isn't it? $100 down. I think what I'll do, I'm going to set a take profit about there. Maybe even there. That'll make about $100, but well, 100 minus 15, probably make about $80 if that goes up there.
Oh.
But we'll see what happens. Yeah, it's a shame I got such a crappy entry actually, because what I did with this account this morning was I moved a big chunk of money over into the spot account, where I set up just a spot buy trade, and I left exactly 4,000 USDT in this account here. So my plan was to go on the live stream with 4,000 USDT and then see what I could turn it into. At the moment, it's not very good, is it? Because it's showing there a margin of 3,982, because obviously there was a bit of realised loss when I opened the trade there. It's not a particularly risky trade though, this, because I'm doing it on 10x leverage, which is fairly low for me actually, and you know, my liquidation price is 93k, so I'm not even going to worry about stop losses or anything like that for the moment. That is not financial advice. Please do use a stop loss always. Sometimes I don't know. But yeah, with this one, I just want to get it in profit, take the profit, and then look for another entry, because that entry was terrible. Don't know what I was thinking then. And at some time today, I need to go out and enjoy the sunshine. What part of the world are you in, Mr. Debut Mastering? In fact, if there's 8 people watching, can you pop in the chat and say hello? Just tell me roughly where you're from. That'd be good to know. Okay.
Oh.
I do like these. London. Okay, cool. Yeah, I lived in a few places in London. I lived in Finchley for a bit. I lived sort of Telly-Ho Corner, you know, sort of on the way up to Barnet. I lived there for a bit, and then later on I lived in Peckham for a bit, and then I lived in Westcombe Park. Westcombe Park's lovely. Peckham was strange. I had my car stolen 3 times there from the same place, and each time it came back with less bits on it, and then the final time it had no. You know, the stereo from it had gone completely. Oh, Monkey 64ism. Hello, Buckinghamshire. Hey, oh, another audio dude, Foley artist. Yeah, I've been well, in the olden days, I used to do. I used to make music with like an Akai sampler and an Atari ST back in the 90s, uh, and using Cubase on an Atari ST, and then later on I was using Cubase on a PC, and in the past couple of years I keep dipping into Ableton, and I keep meaning to sort of write some better tunes with Ableton, and I don't know, it's weird in a way. You've got like so much there that it's like it's almost like, for me it's like I kind of need like less to work with, I almost feel like I'm better off just picking up a guitar or something, and yeah, and having a little play.
Oh.
Anyway, but you've got so much there with Ableton that sometimes hard to know where to start. Cracked copies of your Cube, yeah, is that exactly what I had actually? Yeah, it's great when it used to run the little crack in the folder and then fiddle with the keys. Yeah, I'd cracked copies of Cubase and Wavelab. I used to love Wavelab for cleaning up audio and stuff. Wavelab. What else did I have? All that stuff, like was it Rebirth or something, like 303 emulator and all that. Cool. Use Pro Tools. It's all things to all men. Yeah, oh. I've never used Pro Tools, but I know a lot of people who do. Odd enough, me and Mr. Doubter from further back in the chat, we were in various bands together and stuff, so got quite a long musical history. Well, this one's almost getting better, isn't it? It'd be great if I could make some money on stream, wouldn't it? See, I could have done that if I'd have followed my own advice and not got into a stupid position. Right, okay, so this was looking all right. As I say, not such a strong signal from this as I wanted. And then and then see, this is a good example. This is a great example actually of these green crosses. I mean, these are all to do with the thing called the ABCD pattern recognition. I don't quite know what that is, to be honest. But it kind of, in fact, can we see from the script? I'm not sure. Let's open that. Open in new tab. Let's have a look. Is anybody good with Pine script here? Right, so ABCD pattern logic, okay, based on stochastic 4 stuck in extreme overbought or oversold for X number of bars. Which one is stochastic 4? Hang on a sec. Stochastic 4. Where are the colours? Oh, right, there you go. So stochastic 4 is the green one. Okay. Right. So pattern logic based on stochastic 4 stuck in extreme overbought or oversold for X number of bars, user configurable. Okay, so it's looking at the green stochastics. That's the slowest moving stochastic. I think it was a bit more of a clue where the alert was. Oh, I don't know. Okay. So that these green crosses are coming about because you've got this green stochastic line here in the extreme territory. It's been there for so many number of bars. Now that number of bars is set.
Oh.
Sorry about that. So where is it now? Right. So that's where it's set here, right? So you got bar since above 90 in a long. This controls the sensitivity of the ABCD pattern recognition. Lower is more sensitivity, and greater gives false positives. I think at the moment, the way these are all set, by the way, it's pretty good for Bitcoin. And I think it's pretty good for a lot of like normal cryptos, you know, like Ethereum, big ones like Solana and stuff like that. So if you're trading something different like gold or silver or, you know, S&P 500, these might be different figures that work better, you know. And what it says here, it says, think of this as a shield preventing reversals. This shield only goes away when stochastic 4, that's the green one, curves back below 90. Look for trend continuation here after minor price corrections, but read the tooltip on the right for more info. Right, the tooltip says, be aware though, price will likely reverse before this shield goes away because stochastic 4 has to curve back below 90 before it stops painting. So look for candle reversals or stochastic 1 or 2, that's the red and the cyan one, to start curving at an angle. Oops. To start curving at an angle more than 10 degrees or so, and parabolic distances from the 9 EMA to get in early. Parabolic distances, what does it mean? Not sure.
Oh.
Anyways, well, looks, so yeah, this is what it's talking about, isn't it? So here now, even though the green is up there, and it's been up there for quite a while now, the cyan and the red one are starting to come back, okay? So what seems to happen here is the cyan and yellow will kind of gradually, eventually pull down the yellow and green one, the green one being the slowest moving one. So when that stops coming down there, the price will probably come back a bit. So that's what's going on there. Okay, 3 minutes looking all right though. So it's one of these things where, you know, there'll be a little bit of a pullback and then it'll probably keep going up a little bit more until this starts to do something similar to that. Unless the whole thing shits the bed completely and it drops like a stone, of course, when it's a different story altogether. But so far, I would say that it's all looking quite strong. How's my trade? $97 down. Okay, getting there. Anyway, Buckinghamshire, that's cool. Yeah, I lived in Hertfordshire for a bit, and my missus used to teach in a school in Buckinghamshire, in Wendover actually. Yeah, it wasn't where she lived, but that's where she taught. Super Scion. Supper. Or soup. Supai. Soup. Yeah, Super Scion. So you've got a Greek letter mu for your U. That's interesting. Super Scion God. Okay. Can you give us your opinion about Solana, please? Yeah, sure. I'm stuck at 178. Okay. Right. I think I've got that over here. Yeah, I have here. Right. So when you say you're stuck at 178, you mean you're in the long at 178, or you bought spot at 178? Oh God, that's quite a. Okay. Why have I got a line there? Oh.
Oh.
So if these alerts are annoying you, then let me know. But I actually find them quite useful. I know it's ridiculous. That was obviously some sort of trend line I was drawing at some point, wasn't it? And I'm not sure why I did that. Okay, I don't know why I drew that. 178. 178 is not too bad. So using these indicators, and I'm not sure if he only just arrived, Mr. Super Scion God, but to me the Bitcoin price is looking quite bullish, I think, and if that goes up, then other cryptos will probably follow. So I am trying to find somewhere around here. I'm trying to find a bottom. It might not be a like the bottom, and then it's just going to go to the moon from here. But it might be something like a temporary bottom. And if you're in a long from 178, then you might have a chance of getting out. So a few things I'm looking at here. I mean, straight away, there is a bit of a double bottom formation. Let's try that again. There is a bit of a double bottom formation there, isn't there? So, and that's quite a good one actually. They're always nice when you've seen the price come down like that. Then it does a double bottom, and you want the right cheek higher than the left cheek. Okay, that's always good. Now, I was looking at something similar to that on Bitcoin, and the only thing was, as I was looking further back.
Oh.
I was looking further back, and I was looking for a bigger double bottom, which you probably don't want to know about, but that would be something like that. So if the price comes down here, so I don't know, that could happen at some point, but let's hope that won't be today. Right. So looking at these two indicators now. So there's these EMAs here. Oh, sorry, just checking my sound. Okay. Right. So looking at these indicators here. So first of all, these moving averages. These moving averages on the 5-minute time frame. On Bitcoin, I was looking at that on the 5-minute like that, and I really wanted these to cross. Okay, now it looks like on Solana they almost didn't, but it looks like they're going to in the next few minutes. This candle's got 4 minutes until it closes, so I'd say if they cross there, then it might stand a chance of going up. But looking here on the quad rotation stochastic, okay, that's it's not going to rocket up, I don't think. Yeah, okay. So the problem you got here, right, is you've got these green crosses appearing, and this is what I've been saying for Bitcoin, is when they appear, it kind of means the prices are going to go up, but not forever. And when they stop appearing, it sort of pulls back a little bit. Okay. Now it looks like it's stopped already on Solana. Yeah, it has. Okay. So I think what's going to happen here is going to get a little bit of a pullback, and then it might go up again, because these EMAs might cross over. The only thing is, they're not, are they? Like that looked really good a minute ago. Okay. I don't think it's going to dump massively or anything like that. And I think on the bigger time frames, what? You see, on the bigger time frames, this green 55 EMA crossed over the yellow 21 EMA. That did that on Thursday at 6 o'clock in the morning, and that was just below your entry, wasn't it? And it's not looking too bad actually, because when it's kind of falling, you see these EMAs. If you went here earlier, what these EMAs are, they're red, cyan, yellow and green, and they are a 5, 9, 21 and 55 EMA. I set these up using this indicator here called CTMAC. If you want to know how to set that up, if you have a look at savewith.crypto.org, on the homepage I've got a thing saying my favourite indicator, and there's a video tutorial about how to set that up there. It's a free indicator, and it uses the ideas that I got from Eric Crown, who I think is brilliant. Anyway, but what Eric would say is when they're in this order, yellow, cyan, yellow, green, that is a trended motion to the downside, right? So from Thursday, we've been coming down. Although it started to try and save itself a bit here on Friday, and then this morning it was in free fall again. But now you are starting to get that red one go near the cyan one. If that crosses over, then it might go up to the green, the yellow rather, and then I don't know. Maybe by later on tonight we might see a bottom there. So I would say for Solana it's got a little bit more downside, and then it will probably go back up. Okay, so you're saying everything is following BTC, in my opinion. Yeah. If we see BTC 105, 106 and stability there, I can breathe, especially plus 105. Okay. Are you? Is it a leverage position you're in, or is it just a pile of spot you've got? And if it's leverage, have you got like a? I don't know. Is there a level where it becomes a bit scary? I know sometimes people do. They'll trade Solana on the same sort of leverage as they trade Bitcoin, and it comes as a bit of a shock sometimes when you realise how much you can move in a day. I tend myself not to trade much besides Bitcoin on leverage anyway, purely because if it's not something I look at all the time, then I don't know what kind of percentages it moves in, then I can easily get myself in a mess. I'm pretty good at getting myself in a mess with Bitcoin as well, so I don't want to make my life any more difficult. Liquidation price 143. Okay, so you are in a leverage position. Let's have a look. 143. So what are you down percentage wise at the moment? 143 is quite low. Let's better good look at some fibs, really, couldn't we? So if you go from that low to that high with a fib, okay. Well, we're not going to go near 143, I don't think. Maybe that was it. Maybe we're just bouncing off the 382. The 0.5 isn't actually a fib level, but for some reason the price in some assets does tend to observe that. Okay. I'm never quite sure, but I know some people would sort of look at what it's just done and they'd say, okay, well, it's come from there down to there. So no, that's meaningless to me anyway. Yeah, so your hopes are really on this 5 minute here. They're crossing over again. If this candle can close here, it's in 2.5 minutes. If that can close, so they're crossed over, I think you'll be all right. 178. What are you going to do when you get to 178? Are you going to just close it, or are you going to hang on to it for dear? Excuse me. Or are you going to hang on to it for dear life? You see, me myself, I'm in a similar situation here, aren't I, with Bitcoin? Because I'm 3% down, which is but it's a reasonably large position, so $135 that is, and I really want it to get out the other side and just make a little profit, just so I won't be so embarrassed on my live stream. I know in reality though I shouldn't have let it get there, but I've done worse. Definitely. Yeah, you see that? They're crossing over. Let's wait a minute, see what happens. So a quick slip. Oh, you say you're using 6x leverage, a big amount. Okay. See, if that was me, what I'd probably do is when you get back to break even, I'd take a big chunk of it out and just reduce the size of your position, because I don't know. I think 6x leverage for me on Bitcoin is a bit high. On Solana is a bit high, I think. Yeah. If I'm trading Solana, I tend to do it on like 3x leverage. Sometimes 4 if I'm feeling crazy, but yeah. And particularly if you got, if you can afford to put on a big position, then why risk it? Actually, why am I saying that? Because I'm terrible for it. Yeah. Oh, a bit. That's Solana, isn't it? Mm. Oh, that's okay. That's to do with this indicator called Stonksy. I don't know if anyone's familiar with it. It's a paid indicator by that Martini guy. That's to do with him anyway. That's on the 3 minute. Actually, you probably didn't want to know about that. Oh no, that was Bitcoin, wasn't it? Actually, I'm not going to confuse things by showing that. I've been doing some live streams on the Stonksy indicator channel, which I've enjoyed very much actually, but I've been doing them every day and it got a bit much, so I thought I'd rather concentrate on my own live streams really. So that's what I'm going to do, which is why I'm here now. And is it still called? Oh, it's still just called just a test live stream, and it really is just to test out the system, see if it works with my new laptop. I think so far it's good. There's no embarrassing pop-ups happened. Audio seems good. Stream rate seems good. Price of Bitcoin and Solana is both wobbling around annoyingly. Go back. And the other thing, it is Saturday today, isn't it? So all sorts of things happen that wouldn't normally happen. It's probably also worth bearing in mind, if you look at the CME group and look for Bitcoin and look at the overview, you can see that last night the CME, that's the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, their Bitcoin price closed at 104.095. So I would expect that price sometime Sunday night, early on in the week, maybe, to go back there. Now that's not that far from where we are at the moment, I must admit, but I'd like that. Then I could get out of that trade, couldn't I? Okay, so let's look here. So what you can see here is the stochastics here on the 1 minute have come down a bit. We did get the red straight lines there. So that's the detected bearish divergence as that was going up. Okay, so that came into play there. Okay, so what we'll probably see now, depending on how far this comes down, but we might have another crack at going up there again. So you can see here where it's had this great big long bunch of like green crosses. If you look back in the past when that's happened, let's find what, there you go. So if you look back in the past when that's happened, it's done that, and then the price has come back down, and you got a load of like red crosses, and then it went back. Then it went back up again. So we are probably stuck in a bit of a range, to be honest. And whether it gets out of that today, this weekend, I don't know. It's going back up now, isn't it? Let's have a look at your Solana. Okay. And what you want to see is it to take out that high there, don't you? Get beyond 168.146 and then try and make a higher high. Because I suppose at the moment, actually, yeah, okay. So you got a high there. This one was at a lower high and a lower high, right? Then you got a higher high, higher than that one. And that was a higher high. On the lower ones, you got a lower high there, higher low there, and you got a lower low, a lower low, and now you're getting a higher low. So they're quite good. Higher high, higher low. So what you would expect if that trend continues is to now hopefully get a higher high. Okay. Right. That's quite good fun, this. I do need to go outside though, get a bit of fresh air, because yeah, like I said, I bought this laptop yesterday, and I thought I've got to get on with using it and actually get on a live stream and do something. You know. I knew part of my struggle was going to be getting my head round OBS, but I think I'm there now. I've got the audio working as I wanted. I was able to put a banner up there about the Blofin offer. That's good. And by the way, that's running until about, I think it's May the 26th, I think. But you have to use that link. The normal link won't work. It's obviously an affiliate link as well, so I get a bit of commission, which is nice. Okay. Let's remove all these scribbles. So yeah, Solana is in a bit of a downtrend at the moment, though, isn't it? On the 1 hour, anyway. So it would be nice to see that turn around properly. Anyway, let's have a look at Bitcoin on the bigger time frame. Keep doing that. Yeah, you see Bitcoin's been on a downtrend since that yellow 21 EMA crossed the 55 EMA this morning at 10 o'clock. So I do want to see those back the other way. That would be nice. And I think it looks strong. It's just a matter of whether it's going to do it today or not. I suppose for the triangle people, I suppose you could say there's one of those what they're called, is that a right? No, it's a ball pennant. It's not particularly good, is it? I think that'd be more like that. You know, the price might come down here. I don't know. I do find with the triangles you can sort of almost find them anywhere, can't you? And they're so easy to see once things have happened, you know. Like I suppose here, that you know, you'd have, I don't know, some sort of thing like, no, maybe not, I don't know. I do like channels actually, you know, like parallel channels. So something like that one there, sort of. Obviously, there's a bit of a fake out there on 7th of April. I think that was tariff related, though, wasn't it? You know, so the price was coming down here, and then boom, off it went. You know, I think parallel channels are quite nice. I like them. Anyway, right. I think people are leaving now, aren't they? I've got 4 concurrent viewers apparently. So I think I'm just talking to myself, really. Pretty much. How long have I been going? 84 minutes ago. Jesus. Got nothing better to do. All right. I think I'm going to... Oh, let's have a quick look. Monkey 64 is cool. I play in bands too, rather badly. Yeah, me too. But I do like it. All right. So I don't know how useful this is to people. If I'm just sort of sitting here looking at what I'm doing, maybe looking at trades like this that, all right, this one's going not particularly well, but some people might find it useful maybe to know how I'm managing the position or whatever, what your options are. Some people might find it useful. If you'd like me to do regular daily live streams, I think the best time for me is probably going to be in the UK. It'd be like mornings, kind of like I don't know, maybe about 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. UK time. I know it's not particularly brilliant because it's between the London Open and between a New York Open. So there is that. But I think that would generally work out pretty good for me. But if I get like really comfortable with this, I'm quite happy to jump on and off if there's an event happening, or if if Bitcoin's going nuts, or if it's like dying a death, and then we can have a look at it. Whatever. Oh, coding crypto fitness. How is the bot doing? Had a busy week, so not watched any Stonksy streams this week. Okay. Well, I've actually. Well, thanks for being here, by the way. Do give the stream a like. I've actually stopped doing the daily live streams with Dave. I'm gonna go back to how I was before, just doing the guest streams on Wednesdays, because I think I want to spend more time on my own stuff and growing my own channel, and I also want to do more live streams on my own channel like this. The bot, the Stonksy bot, it's not doing particularly well, I don't think. I actually took the money out of mine, and I decided to trade it manually to get back to where I was, because I had the original $250, and it got down to about 211. It didn't lose much, to be honest, but it did lose a little bit. So at the moment, it was this one, wasn't it? It was the high frequency one. It's not been trading particularly well, to be honest. Although I think it's going to improve a lot very shortly, because I know SMFC is playing around with the data quite a bit, with the parameters quite a bit. And also the actual community have been handling it really well, in the way that in the Discord they've been talking about, like exiting early, that kind of thing. So consequently, even this one here, where it actually lost 2.93%, the actual profit that the copiers made was all right, But yeah, so it's, I don't know. I'm going to leave it for a little while, just until I see some more consistent results with it, because I personally would rather trade manually. While I was doing the streams with Dave, it made sense to sort of talk about it every day and plot the progress and stuff, And that first month was brilliant. It kind of almost doubled my money, and then there was a problem with it where they got some of the logic wrong, or I think Blofin changed something, and it performed a bit dodgily for a while, and a lot of people lost confidence in that. But I think in time it'll be fine. But I just feel that I can make more money faster trading manually, to be honest. So overall, I would say it's not quite as good as people expected it to be, and but I think it will improve over time. And I think even, I mean, the way they've done it is like, they back tested it over the past year, I think, and it would have been massively in profit. It just happens that the way the market is at the moment, going up and down, it hasn't been very favourable for that, really. So but I'm not involved with the with following the bot's progress anymore. So oh dear, it was going. Yeah, it was going brilliant. I just kind of, I wish I got into the habit of thinking like, oh, it's doing really well. Why didn't I just close it? And I think if I'd have done that a few times, I'd have been massively up. Anyway, happened with a person I know running a gold bot. Went really good for 3 months. Made tens of thousands. Lost most of the money it made in one trade when the bot messed up. Yeah, I know. And the thing is, I always think is like, if you created a bot that it is like an infinite money machine, so you put a £5 note in one side and a tenner comes out the other side. Would you sell it to anyone? I'd keep it for myself and just feed it all day long. And but so I don't know. I suppose people do automate this stuff, don't they? I know Eric Crown has his quant automation thing, but even then, he actually encourages people to not follow each other because basically you don't want everyone doing the same strategy. So, because like when other bots recognize other patterns, then they sort of trade against them. So I don't know. It's really common. I can't work out why. It's almost like it's against the laws of physics, isn't it? To sort of like, it won't let you create an infinite money machine because it's impossible. Because if somebody did, then someone would copy it, and then everyone would have an infinite money machine, and that would be impossible because you'd suck all the money out of the earth, and what would happen anyway, David Mastery, you got to run. Yeah, I'm going to go myself because I'm just rambling about nonsense now. The whole point of today was just literally to try out the new hardware, try out OBS for the first time. That's actually not the first time. The first time I've used it seriously, and certainly the first time this year. So that's good. And just check everything's working all right, and then maybe not tomorrow, but maybe like Monday onwards, I'll probably get into more of a swing about it all, and hopefully we can all make lots of money. So how are we doing now? 103. Okay. And I just closed the page with my trade on. Okay, that's probably a good signal to go. All right, thanks everyone for coming along. Please do make sure you are subscribed and you got the notifications turned on. If you're watching this after the live recording, it is just a test today. There will be more serious live streams and videos, well, for the rest of my life, as far as I know. So please do come over to the channel and like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. For the people who are here, can you make sure you click like and make sure you are subscribed? Thanks very much, Coding Crypto Fitness. You have a brilliant weekend too. And if I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you on Monday. All right, take care, everyone. Just need to find out how to turn this off now. Right, hang on. I need to set